Someone posted a comment on social media. My recording disappeared. Hold on a second. That's what happens when I touch the wrong button. We'll start again. Someone posted something on social media to the effect of, if you're alive, thank God for your life, because you're not one of the X number of people that has died from COVID. To which somebody else replied, well, why should we thank God? I mean, he killed 1.3 million people or something. There was some number stated. Why should we thank a God who kills, who takes life? So anyway, I decided to look up the number just for my own edification, and it's somewhere around 650,000 people who have died from COVID, according to the world statistics that I found. But it's important to note, not that death is insignificant in any manner, in any number, but I think it's important to note that the statistics that we run across online are not always correct. So how much truth do we really know? Well, it depends on what we're fed. And I think it's just important to know. But that being said, as a Christian, how do we respond to a challenge like that? When someone challenges us and says, how can you love a God? How can you look to a God who allows tragedy to happen, who created the environment in which that tragedy could happen, and possibly even whose hand created that tragedy? It's important to note that someone who has a visceral reaction like that is not going to be swayed by justification and reasoning, or by understanding and insights from their fellow brothers and sisters. They've made up their mind. But it could help to give our brothers and sisters of faith, or other people who are kind of on the fence, some reasonings as to why these tragedies happen. So why did God create this environment in which things that we perceive as bad happen? Here are a few quick thoughts. First of all, bad is an understanding that we have based on our perception and our perspective. Everyone's definition of bad could potentially be different, just like everyone's definition of good is potentially different. But in a nutshell, bad is the consequence of our free will. God had to create an environment of free will because he created us out of love. He created us for relationship, and love and relationship can't be forced. So free will needed to be there. And because of our free will, because of the choices that we can make bad decisions, and out of bad decisions comes what we might perceive as bad. And without bad, we couldn't understand the good. We wouldn't be able to see or define what is good if we didn't understand for ourselves what is bad. Now, again, everybody's definitions are different, but in general, that's a truth. So, and then secondly, everything that we suffer helps us to become a better person if we take from it the gifts that are given. I mean, suffering is difficult, but we can grow in patience and in personal strength. In perseverance, we learn things and we gain attributes. And as we grow, we become an example to people of how to live with hardship, how to work through a difficult situation. And they, through our example, have an opportunity to become a better person for having learned something from us. And of course, we learn from the example of others. By good and bad, there's a real paradigm shift that has to occur in our minds. So our very first poor choice, according to Scripture, is that Adam and Eve decided to not trust God, to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and bad so that they could define good and bad for themselves. And so that is that first consequence of free will. So what is really good and bad in God's eyes, or what is really good and bad in the grand scheme of everything that occurs in the world? Is it bad to be sick? Is it bad to suffer? Is it bad to be hungry or jobless or suffer any of the other thousands of possibilities? And that's where we have an opportunity, something bigger than us, than ourselves. Is it even bad to die? To think that it is bad to die is perhaps to deny the reality of life. Death is our inevitable end. We're going to die. We can't cheat it. Some die young, some die old, some die in peace. Most suffer. About 80% of people are in pain when they pass away. So for many people to die of a virus, or to die in a flood, or to die in a particular difficult circumstance is more the norm rather than the exception. And we might think that a particular person didn't deserve to die. They were too young, they were too good, they were too this or that. They had so much to offer. But we've been given life for an undetermined amount of time. We didn't get any kind of a guarantee on our birth certificate that says, okay, you've got 81 years, 2 months, and 5 days. So we're going to die whether we die young or old. And it's not a cause to be sad. I mean, we grieve and mourn the loss of a loved one because we miss them and we wish that we had more time to interact with them. And we grieve those who have had a significant impact on us. But we are here for an undetermined amount of time. And we approach life with gratitude. If we approach life with gratitude, then we can offer so much more to the world around us, even to the point of appreciating hardships and sickness and suffering, because we have an opportunity to learn and to teach in every circumstances that we find ourselves in. And if we try to cheat death, we're trying to play God. We're doing a disservice to ourselves and to others by denying our reality. Now, I'm not saying that we want to rush to the end of our journey. We are valuable. Every day that we live is valuable, and we have something to offer. But to not accept that we are not in control of the number of our days is being in denial. So love and live well and offer things to people and pass things on to people. Set good examples of living well and of suffering well and of persevering. And hopefully in the end, we'll meet our Maker and we will have a better understanding of our own life and of the tragedies that occurred in other people's lives. And He will welcome us to a place where there is no more suffering and there are no more tears. Just unfathomable, unexplainable joy and love for all eternity. That's what we hope for. Pray well.